as you can see, I am joined by a little guest man, who is not supposed to be in the studio, but he is anyways. And I guess it's kind of fitting, because this is not a usual episode like it's supposed to be. Because I've gotten quite a few questions about if I'm gonna explore any side stuff, and I initially wasn't gonna, because I decided I should leave that up to people to discover themselves. I wanted this series to sort of like go over the main story and entice people to play it. The goal would be that after a certain amount of episodes, a viewer that hadn't played the game would be inspired to actually play it, and they would stop watching my series, and then they would go play it. And if they remained on the fence, well, then it would run until it was done, and then they could also, through me, experience this absolutely fucking majestic game. And I realized that a lot of people are gonna do that, and a lot of people are gonna re-experience this majestic fucking game through this series and other series like it. So I'm gonna do these B-plots that go into the side quest and show off the side quest. I don't know how many are, and I don't think I'm gonna do all of them, but I'm gonna do some of them. And I thought it would be a... and I thought it would be... this was a terrible idea. You are a terrible dog at sitting still. Skal blive der? Du skal blive der. Det er dig, der vil være her. Ja, nu er det fortrudt. Ja. Jo. And I thought it would be a fitting place to start by going to visit a couple of the people that didn't show up at the town meeting. That was Sally, Becky, and Diane. Diane hasn't actually arrived in town yet, I don't think, but Becky and Sally are definitely here. So let's go and let's visit them and see what's up with them.
Mind if I ask you a couple of questions?
I've got nothing to say.
And yeah, so it's really quite interesting, right? Because the side quests, they definitely range from completely zany and completely out there, with the stuff like getting infinite ammo guns and getting like stupid ass cars and helping Sigourney get her pot back and all that. There's all that same stuff, and it ranges from that and then to stuff like this, which is pretty much just companion pieces to the main story.
Anna, where are you going? Don't leave me.
And what do I mean by companion pieces to the main story? Well, I mean that this is the kind of content that naturally integrates to the main story. It was logically, for me, the first time I played, to, after the town hall meeting, go out and seek these people out that weren't at the town hall meeting, and that meant visiting Sally and then later on Becky. And that's, as I mentioned in the beginning, that's what we did in this chapter. Sally being the first one, because I figured we should go talk to Anna's mom, since Anna was the victim. And what happens is that we go to her house and she's not home yet, so Yorkie smokes some cigarettes, and then 2 hours later she is home. And guess who's also there? Richard Dunn. He has taken it upon himself, following Anna's death, to take care of Sally. And as we learned from Sally's mom, he was already taking care of Sally while Anna was alive.
That day. The day she died. I stayed over at a friend's place.
And that somewhere else would be Richard Dunn's house. A lot of these side quests are in general more interesting because they are a bit more hands-off than the main story. Or rather than not that hands-off, they just... The game doesn't tell you how to do them, so you can feel like you can fail them. Or, well, you have the option of giving up and just going and doing something else, and that makes them feel more rewarding in a way. Because Sally, she's like completely out of it, and she doesn't really understand that Anna is dead, and she's like looking for her dress. And it's the objective of this little side quest to go find the dress. And we aren't required to find the dress, so if we can't find it, we can just leave. And it's actually a bit tricky to find the dress because the game doesn't explain how to. So yeah, it's super rewarding to actually find it. And the way we find it is that we go into Sally's office, where there is a picture of Anna wearing the dress. And because we see Anna wearing the dress in a picture, we know which dress to pick out from Sally's closet, which was kind of clever.
Zach, this is it. This is the same dress as the one in the prom picture.
Let's take it to Sally.
As we deliver it to Sally, she begins to dance and a key falls out. The key, we then find out, is to Anna's room, and we go up to Anna's room, and we learn that she was definitely into some weird stuff. Well, I suppose we already knew that, but here we get confirmation of it. We get both like the regular teenage stuff, like there are secret cigarette butts stashed in a like little tin in her nightstand. And we also find a diary that explains some juicy ass stuff.
Day 3. He doesn't let anything slip. I'm really worried about Becky. Day 4. Delivery man Q won't be able to protect Becky.
This will also be an early hint to who the killer is. And I am not gonna explain why it's an early hint, because that will be explained in chapter 9, I believe. But it is an early way to discover what is going on in chapter 9 before it actually happens in chapter 9, and that's kind of like a nice little rewarding thing. And another cool thing in Anna's room is that there is a picture of Laura Palmer from Twin Peaks. It's very low pixels, is very like distorted, but it's definitely her. That picture is so fucking iconic that you can recognize it even though it's only like 50 pixels. It's just so much her. And it's cool to see the game acknowledge its inspirations like that so fucking directly. After we have gone and visited Sally and we've learned that Anna was definitely having a bit of a wild side, despite her like otherwise squeaky clean appearance, we then head over to Becky's, and Becky is acting super shady.
I've got nothing to say.
Unlike Sally, Becky doesn't really have a clear like motive to not being at the town hall meeting, except that she maybe felt a little guilty over Anna's death. And there's definitely some truth to that theory. She's acting like very shady when we show up, and she won't come like outside. We enter her house and she doesn't even come out in the hallway and greets us. It's only when we then go further into the house that she sort of like comes to the door. She acts super shady. She keeps looking around, which will become obvious to why she does that later. And she's expecting someone else to be there with us. She won't talk to us.
Zach, this is a problem. How can we get her to open up?
Maybe we should start with the easy one and look into delivery man Q.
But through a hint that we picked up while we visited Anna, we know to go search for a mysterious delivery man Q. And who's Q? Well, that's Quint, Becky's boyfriend, naturally. And the notes told us to go search for some evidence. So we go to Quint's house and we then wait for him to show up. And then as he shows up, we go in and we have like an excuse and we're like, hello Quint, what is up? And then when he's not looking, we then look in the tank of his motorcycle. and we discover some red dust.
Zach, look at this red powder. This must be what Delivery Man Q was transporting.
We then confront Quint about the red dust, and he gives us like some stupid ass explanation that's clearly a lie. He's saying to us that it's some sort of like health medicine whatever thing.
That's right. Grounded like coffee beans made from the seeds of a plant. Totally legal. Alright?
Which, I mean, it technically is, which will make sense later. But we used that red dust to go confront Becky, and Becky, she then lets us know some stuff.
That's all I can do. Don't ask me for anything more. You'll get us both killed.
Zach, I was hoping we'd get a little bit more out of her, but that's okay.
But yeah, we find out that Becky actually knows who the killer is. And, but she won't tell us, which is, strange, right? But we do learn so much that it is apparently someone, like, we know, because she tells us that he's gonna kill us. He's gonna get us both, that talking about it will get us both killed. So the implication there is that it's obviously someone that we apparently like both know, or at least someone who's very near and in town, which it is. So that's juicy. Yeah, she gives us an engagement ring that she tells us to go give Quint, because she won't need it, which is also a hint of what is gonna happen. And it's actually hinted further.
My name is Becky.
What is gonna happen in the beginning of
My name is Becky.
Chapter 7, because Becky is located in a particular room where Becky isn't supposed to be located.
My name is Becky.
Which will become obvious in Chapter 9, I believe. And yeah, I really fucking like dig this little side quest chain, because this side quest chain actually explains what's gonna happen in the future chapter, but you won't be able to piece together what is gonna happen in the future chapter until you're actually playing the future chapter, and it's very clearly written. We go back and give Quint the engagement ring, and he's naturally a bit like fucked up over that, as I expect anyone would be.
But I did all this for her.
I mean, he clearly loved this girl and he wants to protect her and all that, and I don't know if you can tell, but he might not be able to do that. And it's also here that Quint has like this complete turn of heart, because he's a bit of a fuck the cops kind of guy, as is Becky. But he, upon sort of being defeated by the whole engagement thing being broken off, just offers to go turn himself into the cops for like the red dust drug thing.
I'll turn myself in once I've talked to her, okay?
Zach, what is he talking about?
And then York, in like this very, very, very human moment, probably like the most human moment York has in the entire game, he pretends to play dumb and then goes with Quint's stupid explanation that the red dust is actually like this like fitness thing.
Why would I arrest an innocent youth such as yourself? Quint, I'm busy with a murder investigation here. We can talk about health food another time, okay?
And it's very sweet, and I think it's like a criminally overlooked moment in the game, because York is usually like this very like by the book kind of guy, and he's the type of guy you assume wouldn't like drugs, and he's the type of guy that you would assume would do his job, because he acts so much by the book in every other instant we see him in, and then he doesn't in this moment. And I suppose it's because York has also been young and in love, and he hasn't forgotten that he was once young and in love, and he shows this very like awesome human side of himself, and I really appreciate that. and it really elevates him as a character because it completely humanizes this dumb asshole who's a dumb asshole who acts like a dumb asshole in front of people. And it's about this point in the game where his character starts to grow on you, and most of the other characters start to grow on you. You get like this real sense of teamwork between them. And this further adds to that. And it's great, and I'm definitely glad that I decided to pick up some of the side content and sort of like extend the series through that. Yeah. So next time we're gonna resume with a regular episode, episode 8, and where we'll go see Diane, and I'll see you there. Yes, and by the way, the Randolph in episode 8 won't be aware of the Randolph in episode 7b, because episode 7b, which is this episode, was actually recorded in that Randolph's future. So if I don't comment on anything I said in this episode, that is why. That won't be a thing in the future. I have since then planned out the future B-plot episodes, and they're gonna make sense, and I'm gonna reference them in future episodes because it will make sense in the continuity. So just bear with episode 8 Randolph. He doesn't know. He hasn't just experienced a little piece of beautiful green world that we all experienced together. But please take care of him, and I'll see you in the future. Bye.